All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Let's bring this over here. All right. I still don't have the chat box inside of OBS, which is annoying. I hate when you update, it disappears, and then I can't get it come back again. It does it to me every time, and it's still not working. Um. Anyway, let's go and get started for today. The only movement we really have out there right now is yen weakness. There was some, let's see, comments down here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I just saw it a second ago. Just looking at it. Literally just right there. Mm, Yeah, right here. Terminal and global banking system returns. So that's really the only major movement out there. Euro pound down 8 nothing. Again, a little bit more pound strength. Euro's up 14 versus the dollar. Pound a little bit more strength as we can see up 38, which is nothing. Pound yen, I'm sorry, dollar yen was up 101. Actually, a little bit more than that, but you can see it's retracing now that the U.S. session is opening. And that's not, unexpected. Dollar Swiss down 20, nothing. Dollar CAD down 36, not anything real big. I wouldn't be surprised if this starts to kind of tear back down again as well. Also, you see it looks like it's flipping. I mean, -8, but in the last 15 minutes, again, U.S. Open, starting to see some dollar strength roll back in. As far as news today, Bailey speaking at 1 o'clock today may be the reason why the pound has a little bit more strength. The German business climate, again, came in better than expected, which is not bad, and that's it for Monday. So it's a quiet Monday. Now, tomorrow, we do have consumer confidence as well as rich manufacturing. Manufacturing has been getting smoked lately, much worse than expected. Tomorrow, not expected to be too bad. We have a couple speeches: BOJ speaking, BOE speaking, ECB speaking, all before the consumer confidence number. So quite a lot in the next, a lot of speeches, right? Not too many not too many major economic releases. Tomorrow night we do have CPI on a yearly basis. There were some surprises, and some of those have been pushed down. So we'll see. We got a lot of time for that. We don't actually even have a forecast for it. Excuse me. Monday morning. Only half a coffee. Yeah. So weekend wasn't too horrible. Saturday started off great. Sunday was great. Good weather. But the younger team that I coach did not do well. They did not show up to play. So the ones we were super concerned about, they showed up on Friday or on Saturday. They did great. And then the guys on Sunday, who we had no questions about, we weren't worried at all. They did not show up and they got slaughtered. It was bad. It was just ugly to watch. And of course, if anybody's out there has kids in youth sports, you lose one game, and this is a team that dropped 2 divisions this year, so I'm pretty sure they're going to sweep it. But yeah, they dropped 2 divisions down, and parents are like, "Oh, it's yeah, all kinds of finger pointing. It's amazing." Um, yeah. So anyway, that's what we got in the next 24 hours. Let's jump across. VIX is down a little bit. Obviously, we had a little bit of a weekend pop from Friday. Friday was obviously a nice little deterioration down, and we're seeing it still hovering around that 21. Wouldn't say there's anything major right now to really be driving this around. The dollar really has also been holding. Friday we had the nice little pop up in the morning, and then for the most part, it just stabilized and pulled back a little bit, right, and then gap down Sunday. But for the most part, it's in that same area. For those people that are going to be looking for like easy draws, you can see that it's kind of around the 23, but really, I mean, we're not really looking for much in this one until really kind of this level right here. And you can see that's kind of what we're bouncing off of right now for the US Open. So again, this is kind of what you expect on Monday mornings. Typically the strength does come back in at 9:30, and we'll see if it really starts to kind of reestablish itself. We know that it's going to raise, but we're hovering right around that 103 mark, which is, we talked about it last week. 103 was going to be kind of a big deal. Came all the way down, parabolic move to 102, and now we're back up at that 103 mark in our kind of bid to go a little bit higher. Okay. Um, Indices, besides NQ, they're all right. They're all in the green. Actually, NQ is just kind of rolling back. It's kind of fluctuating around right now. Um, like I said, there is some comments out here. Where is it? Yeah, like this, right? Economists are expecting U.S. recession above target inflation this year. Kind of interesting. They're like, well, wait a second. Inflation is working, but it's like, yeah, it's above target, which is not what you want. Maybe it's getting close, right? Um, and then again, expecting that recession where before, like 2 weeks ago, it was kind of like, oh, they're going to do like 2, 3 more raises, and we've probably avoided a bottom whatsoever. We can get through this. And now it's pretty much the exact opposite. It's like, yeah, there's probably one more raise and we're definitely going into a recession. So it's amazing how in 2 weeks and three bank crashes or whatever, immediately like everything is just swapped. It's like, whoop, that's it. Nope. Nope. How the story and the narrative has changed. So yeah, it's what it is. Commodities. Now, oil creeping a little bit back up and not necessarily the happiest about oil going back to 70. I did acquire the new vehicle this weekend. We actually took our first family trip yesterday to the lacrosse game. Um, Melissa made me listen to country music, and my assistant coach, who is a little bit more rednecky, he said that's not real country music. I can get you some straight up Texas redneck country music. I was like, we don't need to go there. Not necessarily a fan, but I did fill the tank up for the first time. I drove it back from where I got it on Saturday, and the check, the not check engine, the gas light went off. I was like, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. And I brought Reese along for moral support yesterday. I was like, man, I got to fill this tank up for the first time. And it wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad. I think we got it wrong. I think somehow I must have transposed my numbers, which happens sometimes. For some reason, I thought I had a 32-gallon tank, but when I filled it up, it only put 23 gallons in. And I got to say, 23 gallons was not the economic wallet shock that I thought it was going to be. I was like, oh, that's not that bad. $75 is much better than I was preparing for. So wasn't the end of the world. And then again, had a fun day yesterday with it, driving around. So, but yeah. So not happy about 70. I'm looking for 60. I love that. Natural gas taking the big hit, and again, we're rolling into April. We're right there. Temperatures were up. It was actually 80 degrees in Maryland on Saturday. We had all the windows open and everything. It was awesome. Dropping back down to that 210, down 5% today. And gold and silver both down big. Why? Well, economic crisis. Going to raise interest rates into it. Definitely going in a recession. Doesn't look like the big, inflationary environment. And again, big down already. 28 bucks already. Back down, we were at that 2,000 mark, and I said, hey, 2,000 is going to be a big number, and it did. We came up, we breached 2,000, and then bam, we're all the way back, $50 lower than where the peaks were, and again that silver 22, 22.86, below that 23 mark. We'll see if we continue to tear back down to that 22 level. Starting off with the Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar, here's where we were last week. And again, if we kind of bring this all the way down, you can see real choppy in a Sunday night. I don't know if anybody was really looking to take this one short. I mean, again, it hit it here, it hit again, hit it here. It ran into some sellers, but for the most part, really since Friday at about 10 o'clock, right? 10:30 is right here. We really haven't moved. They've just been kind of banter and shop back and forth. The target of 66.55 or 66.54 is what we're looking for. You can see there was a nice little kind of pullback here, although again, not a 23.6, unfortunately for some of those people. But as it ran all the way down. And again, this was Friday morning at the open. Both profit targets. The first one obviously we took a bounce off of. Second one ended up getting hit, so that one's out. And you can see we're really just basing at this new level. So at this point, it did use the 78.6, but it is a big level, so we weren't really necessarily wanting to use that. I think just to kind of clean the chart up for today, I think this is a decent look at it right now. We had that Harry Potter last week, and again, I think we look at it, but I don't know if we take a trade off of that again. But I will say, it's very clear now. It's like, oh, look at this. This is a one candle base, a little bit of chop, and then boom, huge movement off of it. It's a 50 now. It was nothing else here. I mean, once it came lower, it was not a 23.6. And now that we've rallied all the way down, right? Because we know what happens. We go low to high. It's an easy draw. So people are looking at it. You can see how that 50% retracement level kind of pops in there. So, yeah. Right there. So I think this is one of those levels. If you know how to set an alert, this is probably a pretty decent area. I think, once it starts to climb back up again, if we can punch through this kind of area here where we had these higher highs, I think we start looking for shorts. And again, looking at it on a weekly basis, you can say, what could move that? Well, it could be consumer confidence. It could be over here, final GDP and unemployment claims. That could be a big mover of it. It could be something that Yellen says on Thursday. So there's a number of different things out there. Again, for the most part, this is one of those kind of more anemic, but maybe it rallies up today, and then the CPI number is what takes it off, right? Maybe tomorrow night is where this trade kicks in. I mean, it only really needs to grind back 41 pips. It's got a daily ATR of 81, so absolutely within range of getting up there. And that's a decent level, and again, this big push down, restabilizing, could be a nice little roll point. I think looking for buys, I think down here, 66, really, just so close. couple fractions of a pip there difference. 6600. Yeah, yeah, not horrible. Yeah, yeah. All right. So yeah, I like that one the best. And this is going to be, I would say that this is probably one of those ones that, depending on what we do today, I think there could be an alert set for this one. So look for shorts coming from there. Look for a bounce back down again. I think this is a decent level. Okay, oop, not that fast. It's going to be something like that. Aussie yen. So Aussie yen had this old level, and again, 1, 2, 3. We expect 4 to break. 4 did break, and it actually, if you bring this across, you can see it actually did provide a Harry Potter trade last Thursday, late in the afternoon, right? Popped back up again, and then ended up going all the way short and down. Now with it, you can see that we're at the 50. We are kind of at that same kind of Harry Potter level. I think it's an area right now where you look at this and you're like, oh, could it turn here? Yeah, but it's already kind of pierced through. It kind of based here. It based here. It based here again. It's not as high quality as one of these first 2 hits. I think this, early morning hit here where the European session opened was probably the best hit back down again, but it did exactly what it should have done. It went right back down to the origin of its pop. It grabbed all those buyers and they continued to push higher. So I think you got to use some caution this one. I don't think this is a clear cut. Again, we were looking for a short out of it, but it's already hit one time. I don't think it's necessarily clear cut at this point. So, eh, it's all right. I would say the things that kind of lean into this one as being an area where we can go short. Um, the fact that we've seen pretty much nothing but Aussie weakness going. I'm sorry, not Aussie. Yen weakness since kind of Friday all the way up, particularly in the overnight of the European session. There will be some profit taking from that, so that could be the reason why this turns and rolls and flips. Um, eh, eh. I think that's the only reason why. I'm just leered with 3 hits on that one. So could there be something there? Sure. Yeah, there may be some 50 percenters trying to get into this one. But I really like the level up here. And again, I hate to say this, but I like the 78 candles much better, even though the 78.6 is not really my favorite zone to bounce off. I like those candles a little bit better. So right now, if we can break through this one, again, this could be one for tomorrow. We look at 88.27, the bottom kind of confirmed level here, push down. This one, could it roll? Yeah, but I would definitely need a confirmation short on this one to be able to take this one and turn and flip it to the downside. Okay. Euro dollar. All right. So euro dollar. Again, you can see Friday or Thursday, we got that push. Never came back up. We based it at 23. Those poor people that were trying to get this one long at the 23. It just literally chopped through right on Thursday. And then Friday morning, all the way through. We talked about on Thursday having a target down here. This one tagged at about 7:30, right? We talked about 107.20 as being, hey, listen, look for a potential bounce here. The zone's a little bit lower. You can see it ended up breaking through the 50. It actually needed that zone and then rallied back up. And we're sitting right now at kind of an old level, right? It did chop and went through. So I'd say right now, this also has a potential for a reversal level. One, because we've seen pretty much dollar weakness since the European market opened right here. And now that the US market is open is when we typically see dollar strength roll back in. If it does break through, there could be potentially, let's see. It's close. It's close. Say there's a zone sitting right in here. It's kind of a little bit hard to draw, but how many pips is that? I would say that look for, if we're able this morning to kind of base in here and then punch up, I think this is probably a decent short area. Why? Again, you have people trying to use the 50.61.8 for fibs. There was a lot of basing there. And again, this was late Thursday night in the middle of the night, but we had a strong push down, a base, and then a nice strong push on Friday. And again, we're just retracing this kind of parabolic move on Friday. So it's coming back up. I would say target first, but being wedged between the 50.61.8. You'll have people that take the short at 50 using the 61.8 as their stop loss, looking for it to roll back down. But we also have a level of basing there and a strong push showing us that there are potential sellers in there. It doesn't need to move a ton. It needs to move up about 35 pips. This one has a 4-hour ATR of 35, so it's obviously right there. The heck is that? Oh, high pollen. Great. Yeah. I was dead all weekend and I'm finally feeling better. I was really concerned today. I just got like this pop up that it says, hey, it's 50 and sunny. And then this like weird icon popped up. Yeah. High pollen. Yeah. It should be great for my head today. Be loving it. Awesome. High pollen. I actually have to coach my kindergartners today. So I'm kind of excited about that. It's their first game. Probably going to get destroyed, but that's okay. But I told Jen I would bring her out because she's all excited. Because like a lot of her friends from last year at school, they go to quote big school now, and these are all big school kids. It's 9 kindergartners, so yeah, it's a bunch of like bobbleheads that run around with lacrosse sticks. It's pretty funny. But it's a guy in my on my men's league team. It's his son's team we're playing, so it should be pretty fun. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time with him. So yeah, I would say there's a potential short at 108.50 25. All right. Euro pound. Not much. Again, you're seeing this one kind of rally back again. We talked about this being short last week. We were looking for a short when we finally break through 108.80. This one ended up hitting. This is one of those ones that's kind of unfortunate. It ended up hitting. There was a small hit here. There was a hit here, but then Friday happened, and here's Friday to Sunday, right? So you may have wanted to take it here, but it wasn't a super clear push, and it actually hasn't gotten out, but it is pushing to the downside. We were actually talking about profit targets coming in here, but we kind of needed to get a new level. Like, I don't know where the level is going to be, right? We said we got to see where the basing is. The basing actually came in right there, right? There is your basing the top side. So again, Harry Potter worked. If you moved it to the top side, you were good and actually could have got out Friday morning super early, right? That's what it would look like if you've used the near term basing, right? This pullback here, actually this pullback, actually it would have been there. It would have been the basing. There would have been the actual trade, right there, the drop down. Or if you use this one here, you could have used this base and said, all right, well, look, it hasn't broken yet. There's where your trade would look like. Would have been there, here, down. Which actually, I guess that would have cleared. You would have hit it. Yeah, but it's only 25 pips on Friday, so it wasn't a big one. But take this one off now so we don't confuse people. So that Harry Potter is out. That target's good there. I'm still worrying about that one. I'm wondering if this is probably still people looking at this one. Now that the price is pushed all the way down, like here, this was like really nothing. Maybe I guess you could have taken it at 23. Oh, that's a pretty risky 23 take. Maybe they did that. Anyway, now that it's pushed all the way down to this level, and again, this is 3 hits right here. If we can roll back, I would say that there is a potential now. This is £1, so understand this is not a monstrous move. This is about 6 pips worth of risk there. Right? Not huge. Right? Not huge. But that's what we'll be looking at. And again, we're pulling away, but look, all this basing here, we hit it again, we hit it again, we hit it again. Is it going to hold? It's honestly not a high probability, right? It's just been hit so many times. Um, so yeah, we've tested this level down here, this 87, 86 area, enough times that I'd be a little bit cautious with it, and I do think there's a little bit of a base here. So again, watch out for that. Euro yen. All right, so euro yen. We were talking about this on Thursday, and we ended up getting it at what 7 p.m. on Thursday night. You can see that it pulled back right there. Right there is your trade right there. So it continued to deteriorate. It blew through the profit target. Ended up going all the way down to here, and now we're back up to it again. So we can remove this. This alert triggered on Thursday. Yes, we'll remove that. We'll remove this. We'll remove this. We'll remove this. Let's see. We got. Yeah, there's probably some in there. There's this wick here that makes this one weird. Hmm. Hmm. See this wick right here? This wick sucks. I do not like this wick. Hit. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could try to go off that one, but I don't love it. I do think the yen does turn and flip. I think there's been so much weakness. I do think it does turn. Um, Melissa's volunteering Asher and Reese to work as a camp counselor. Yeah. Anyway, she's like, we should talk to them. I'm like, no, we should just sign them up for it. They can volunteer as camp counselors. I'm like, nah, they're gonna stay at home and play video games. We can volunteer. All right. So yeah, I expect this one to turn and roll. There's not really a great zone for it at this point. I'd wait for it to come back up again. I think 143 does provide some selling in here, just because we've had 3 hits to it and it is a round number. But I think 130, 143.50 is probably a better area, but not really a great setup on it right now. Pound dollar. Again, there was a trade from last week. This one kicked in right around noon, and again, it is out now. So let's pull it. Let's pull this off. Poor people at 23. There you go. There's profit target 1 was tagged Friday at 7 o'clock, and then we rolled back, which is fine. Let's pull this one off. Let's pull that area out. We are probably at a 50% retracement from Friday's high to low. Yeah, 50 61. Again, there's a zone right there. Again, there's an additional push going on right now. Let me see. Is there something going on with the dollar? A little bit of a push down. Again, if this dollar starts to rally back, this one should turn and roll as well. I think we're probably close to reversal. Do I love this level? I like it because it's a 61.80. That's a pretty it's a zone that a lot of people do like. It's been there before. We had a decent push off of it on Friday at the European session, and again, we're just retracing that back again. It is right around 123 ish, right? 129 or 122.90, 123 ish. It's an okay reversal. Like I would like to get this morning kind of time frame over, but because it's been nothing but pound strength, dollar weakness, I think that 10:30 reversal makes a lot of sense for there. It's not my favorite level because it was formed super late at night and we've already hit it once. But it did add a decent push, and now that we have a new low put in from Friday morning, again, we will get some extra people from trading fibs to support us at the 61.8 people. So, yeah, high in the curve. So again, overall, be looking for some shorts on this one. I think that's a decent level. Pound yen coming in, probably a 61. Yeah, it's right at a 61. Again, this was our target from last week. We tagged it on Friday. We can take ourselves out. Profit target 2 is now tagged. We'll take that off. We'll take that off. You can see all the drama at 160. Then it came up and used it. It was a bottom, bottom, bottom. Then it was a top, top, top. Pierced through, and then it was a bottom again. Kind of like Harry Potter right off. Let's mark some tops and bottoms in this guy. Here, I would say, I mean, we're absolutely in an area of basing. It's kind of there. I mean, again, it's not a fresh level, so it's kind of there. Um, same thinking, same thing I said on the Aussie yen and the Euro yen. Again, we're at 61.8 fibs in a lot of these yen based pairs. I would expect some profit taking to come in. There are associated levels with it, so you have like the plus of the level, the plus of the 61, the plus of the 10:30 reversal. The plus of a Monday. So there's a lot of reasons why you would take shorts off these. None of the levels are spectacular, but it's again 3 different trades that you're seeing it there. So uh, I'm totally setting my kids up for this. Hey guys, guess what? You're working that week. Sorry, free daycare. Uh, like, you don't think we should talk to them first? I'm like, hell no. Sign them up. They don't get paid for it. It's free camp. It's not my fault they have to work. Yeah, I'm not dad. All right. So that's what we got going on. Again, I think it's just like the other yen pairs. Dollar CAD. So you're seeing dollar CAD push down. Here is your trade from last week. Let's remove these. There's your short. There's your short. There's your short. Got your short. Again, we pushed through. We talked about overall targets. This is past the 78. Let's bring this up from here to here. All right. It looks like it is grabbing this little level right here, which makes sense. We'll see if we can push through. This I don't care about. The 50 level is down here. We got some room to run. Here we go. Look at this. There was your peak from Friday, 7 o'clock. grab those sellers. So it kind of turned where it was supposed to. Right now, with oil being up 188, obviously the CAD's getting some artificial strength. We'll see. We've got a little bit of bounce off of this one. Again, not necessarily the most uncommon thing in the world. To see dollar weakness on Monday morning. Do you have any small stuff today? Not till 5. Not one of the biggest, but let me get some. I think this is a decent bottom. You're already seeing a bounce off of right now. If we can get the dollar reversal today, that's where it's going to come out of. But overall, I think if we don't get it there, I think we look down here. I think this is where we look for. It's a decent bounce, right? One candle bottom at 10:30. Nice little reversal off of it. Should be pretty decent. Change that to here. Let's just pull this. How much risk is it? It is. Yeah, it's 10. I love those 10 trades. So if this reversal fails, actually, how much is that one? Is that 10 also? Ooh, ooh. If we can get a little Harry Potter action right here, I think we could pull that too. So yeah, if this comes down and starts the base in there again, this is only the first hit, so we wouldn't expect it to happen on number one. But if it does come down and we start the base inside of there, it could be a nice little drop down. So again, look for a bounce off 136.41. But if you're looking to take a little 10 for 30, how much space we got? Oh, we got 35. So yeah, it's like 10 for 35 before we hit the opposing side. That's not a bad little, you know, not a bad little spot there. All right. All right, that's the dollar CAD. Let's drop down and see what we got for the dollar Swiss. Ooh, lots of chop back and forth. So yeah, here's a profit target we talked about coming through. You can see we hit it, we based, and now it's been a top and a bottom. Let's pull this off now. Oof. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we can't really use that. Funny thing is, everybody that looking to trade the 50, they missed it, and it just turned and like, yeah, it's like, nope, you missed it. Sorry. Um. I don't really like the dollar Swiss where it's at. Obviously, there's a level of basing that pop and it's chopping back and forth. I feel like this one doesn't have a lot of momentum right now. We're at minus 15, but any dollar strength that rolls into this, we should start to roll back up. But not, I don't think there's really a great setup in this one. I'd be leery about taking this zone, this little test right here. Why? Because if you look back, we got two things other here. So you got your kind of establishment, your 1, your 2, your 3. This is hit number 4. And then again, we got a wick all the way down to 90.61. What is it? Yeah, 90.60. I'm sorry, 90.70. So not, and again, not really anything great here. Even downside, not really anything awesome. So, I mean, I think right now, I think we look for this. Right? I think we look for, again, we want notification. Right? We're looking for notification here. Actually, I guess we can put it right in the middle of that zone. Harry Potter long. And really, all that is to tell us is like, listen, it's in the zone basing. Look for a pullback from some type of establishment. So that's kind of the only thing here. So, all right. So here, this is good. There's good. Again, no entry on it yet. We've seen it rally back again. We went all the way down. You can see the 131, right? 130 was a top. Then it became a bottom and took off. Now we had a zone that we're like, hey, listen, we got to be able to break through the zone and get some basing. It's good that we're doing some basing now. Again, we don't really have our entry yet. We're looking for a little bit more of an establishment up. Again, form that base, readjust, wait for the pullback, and then go long. 131.67 to 132.23. So, um, yeah, yeah, not much. So We're close. We're close. We really need to get a little bit more. So if you wanted to set some type of an alert near term, again, put yourself a little bit of space right there. That way you're notified when it's punching through again. But look for the punch. Look for the pullback. This one is small. Yeah, it's like 18 for 50. So or 18 for 50. Yeah, 18 for 50. 56. Not much we can do about this one. We're forming the base right now, so look for that one long. Oil. Yeah, so oil, we talked about the 70 pullback, and again, we got a little bit of a run up and then collapsed back down again. The profit target was 167.31. We ended up hitting that Friday morning and then rallied back. So right now, there can be a case made that this is a top. I don't love the top, particularly because it's so much closer here. I still think we wait till we get all the way up. Hopefully, it turns here, okay, and then heads back to the downside. Oh, by the way, funny story. So Jin is now convinced that the new truck is hers. She's like, when can I drive it? Ashton and Reese, one of them, they kind of go back and forth between it's really cool. They like it. And one of them's like, I don't want to drive it though. Jin absolutely can't wait to drive it. She's like, Daddy, when can I drive it? So yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, she's this little tiny petite, mixed Asian white girl. And she's like, when can I drive the H2? Melissa hates it. Melissa's like, I got a picture of Melissa in it. So I'm going to troll her with all her friends. I was like, go ahead, let me take a picture in it. She got in there behind the wheel and she smiled for the picture. And I was like, oh, look, now I'm not telling people you smiled for the picture. I'm going to smile. I'm going to tell them that you loved it driving the car. She's like, no, I can't drive this car. She'll kill somebody if she drives it. So I won't let her drive it, but I'm going to tell all her friends, look at this. Yeah. So I would say look for this as a potential area for a reversal. If we can get a confirmation coming in, look for shorts at, again, we'll just put it at 71.25. That makes the most sense. It is an area. It's okay. It may have some, 61.8. It has not hit the 61.8 yet. So everybody here that's like, yeah, 61.8. No, it didn't hit the 61.8. You missed it by a little bit, right? Yeah, unfortunately, there's your 61.8 number. Actually, it's a little bit off. There's your 61.8 number, and you can see it did not hit it. So, yeah, probably some buying up there. I think that makes sense why we would turn a reverse right there, but we need some negative numbers or some type of news for that one. So, yeah, I'd like it to reverse back down. I will say, if it does turn and go, this one did have a nice little Sunday night gap scenario right there where we opened above and then we pulled back and grabbed it and took off. So there would have been some overnight stuff there. I think that's a decent target. When this does go short, I think you look for this one to, again, oops, that's the wrong green. Oh, God, I hate when that happens. 69.25, right? 69.25 is probably a decent target when we turn and roll back down. Again, gap, and then based off of it, and then some buyer stepped in. I think that makes a lot of sense there. So, natural gas. Natural gas taking that big gap down, right? There's where we ended Friday. And again, we talked about a profit target of 21.12, and you can see we bounced off it a few times. And then they used it. All it did was gap down and continue to go lower. So I still think, and we can go just a little bit lower, right? Doesn't make much of a difference. Right now, I would say that this is more set up in a short. And again, having weather as warm as it was, it's time. It's time for it to get down to 2. So I think 2 we're within 11 cents. I wouldn't be surprised in the next day or two. Unless, we have like an El Nino one last snap for April type scenario. But for the most part, I think 2 is on the radar for this one. Do I love this zone here? Yeah, it's all right. I think if you're looking for a swing trade for the week, I think this actually would not be a horrible trade, right? If you know how to play natural gas, right? If you know how to play natural gas, this is not a bad one, right? I'm sorry, natural gas options on natural gas. I think this would be a pretty decent point right here to be looking to take, maybe like a put spread, something like that. Put spread wouldn't be bad to take this, down to like the 2 area. Not horrible. I could be good for like a weekly position or something. Gold. Okay, there we go. Funny enough, boom, boom, boom. Number 4 is what broke. We came up and grabbed that 2000, and then boom, and we came up and grabbed the 2000 again. So there was a trade here. There was your top right at 2000, and boom. Right, and funny enough. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your base. All the way back down. So let's pull all this off. Pull this, pull this, pull this. Came back up to 78. We don't need it anymore. We definitely have this up here. But again, look at that. There's the zone. I don't love that one. I think it's hit too many times already. If you are short, get yourself out at 93, 39, 75. Yeah, not bad spot. Yeah, I could be swayed on that one. It's this that I'm like, See, the hard part about this one. The hard part about this is we have the hits, right? We got the hits here, but you got see this right here, the spacing. See this right in here? Oop, not that one. I was like, why are there colors there? That's an area. So again, it doesn't really. Again, could that be the Harry Potter bounce to take this all the way down? It could be, but then you got all this drama at 12 o'clock also, right? It's a shame this did not just go straight up, like straight up and then based. Then I would have been in for it. But I'm wondering if we come in here, we base. What if we base? We drop down. We come back up again. And then we push down. I'm wondering if that's what this looks like next time. All right. And really, I mean, before it does anything, it's got to do this. Right? It's got to do that before it does anything. So yeah, so we're not quite there yet, but I think we have a nice little. My head's like, wait, high pollen today? You're in trouble. I think there's probably a shorter. I think this one comes down, and again, we do have that Harry Potter breaking through 1907 down to 1891. So I like this one, but not necessarily a shade yet. There you go. Look, we talked about this level last week. We tagged it on Friday morning. We said that, hey, listen, there's a zone up there somewhere. And all it did is it came up, it grabbed it, and it pushed it back down again. So silver, okay, this is a 30-minute chart. Now, normally when we go to lower time frames with gold and silver, they start to get like this, where they get like really, like we would quote, say, hairy, right? They would get hairy. A lot of wicks back and forth, right? A lot of wicks back and forth in this one. It's hard to really draw zones on this one because there's a lot of indecision back and forth. People aren't sure how to take it. You can see there's basing here, and we hit, and we're kind of sitting over there right now. Some people look at that as like, oh, we're in a channel. You could look at this as a here. No, hold on. Where is it? Oh, it's this one. Oh, I screwed that up. You could look at that this way and say, well, wait a second. Look at that. We're inside of a channel. We are. Yeah, like there'll be people looking at us like from Friday into today, right here, Sunday. We're in a descending a channel. And yeah, I would say that you could say we're in a descending channel. We have 23 that kind of helped us one down. Problem is there's been so much chop back and forth. There's going to be people that are drawing trend lines on this one. And it's like, oh, there's the trend line right there, right? So ideally, what you really kind of need on this one is we need some type of decent movement. We don't really have, I would say, any great levels. I mean, you could run this one fibs. I mean, again, this is going to be one of those subjective things. I'm going to run it from here. Nope, I don't like that one. I'm going to run it from here. Nope, I'm going to run it from this one here, right? Until you get something that gives you the narrative that you want. The reality is, if you're looking for the last really big kind of push, right? It's more that. But there's a lot of basing here. It's like, does fibs really pertain? And then all does fibs really pertain? But if you're looking at this one, there's nothing at the 50. I would say just when you pull it back like this, and you know what, I'll put it to an hourly, give us a little bit better review. You can see the only kickback really on this one is there's one here, right? And then nothing at the 50. It's sliced right through. There is a zone sitting right here. So right now, in kind of the short of where silver looks like it's going, it looks like there's a profit target here and a profit target here. Those are kind of our two profit targets right now to the downside for silver. But right now, what's going to happen is if this starts to base through or start tick back up again in its natural movement, the second it breaches above this top side, if it's above 23, everybody's like, "Oh, that's it, going long. We broke the channel," right? I guess, but you could have also drawn this one here. Because remember, for trend lines, what are you supposed to do? Get 3 hits, right? There's your 1, there's your 2, there's your 3. People went long here and said, "Yeah, there we go. It's above 23. We broke the top of the channel." And what happened? It collapsed right through. So depending on how you draw it, it's a very loose interpretation. You could do it from the bottom, right? You go from the bottom and say, "Well, there we go." And I'm just using parallel channel, guys. You could draw it any way you want. You could freehand it, right? But if you're doing parallel channel, you can see we've definitely been skirting on the bottom side of it when you're doing the lower lows, right? The reality is in a downtrend, the lower highs is what's more important than the lower lows. But a lot of people look at that as well. So just know the general mindset is going to be definitely short silver, and I think that's fair. I think below 23, it's also looking for that. I think 2 targets at the downside in your short should be 22.63 and 22.28. All right, but do like this one short for the week as well. What do we got going for Apple here? Apple, again, we kind of drew this last week. Again, we're kind of approaching it. Tesla, kind of the same thing. Some lower highs in here, right? So Tesla, if it goes much more, kind of scary. It's been straight up, and we're getting at 10:30. This is when the market tends to reverse, so you don't love that. Indices are kind of where they were. Let's see what we got indice wise if there was much to trade. Um, yeah, I mean, here's the thing with Monday morning, right? You can say, do we have any kind of confirmed test? Yeah, the 9:30 is right there, so there is kind of a level. If you look back and say, okay, well, here's a little bit of a level here, and we tested it at 9:30. What was this a test? You could say that, hey, listen, if here was the level that we're using with a little confirmation, there's our confirmation touch. There's our hit of it. You could say, hey, listen, right now we are technically short. Now, the risk on this one is a little bit big. I don't love it, right? 1 to 3 is only right there, right? So right now we're currently sitting at a 1 to 175. 1 to 3 is sitting right there. So I would say, if anything, you could be in this trade and have your stop loss at break even or even bank a little bit, right? At this point, with the way that it's kicked back again, just to be conservative, set your stop loss right there, right? So it's not ideal because the original zone formation actually was on Thursday, but it's the only confirmation that we have. But the confirmation was this morning in the overnight session. So you do have a confirmation of it. It's not the AAA plus supreme elite rated zone, but it meets the guidelines. And right now you're short and you're up over 1.5, right? So again, worst case scenario, you take a little bit out of this one. No harm, no foul. NQ, let's see what we got with NQ. Now this one, a little bit different. This one actually was a Monday morning, and there was your confirmation off of it, right? There's your confirmation. Bring it across, and let's see what this one looks like. There. 1 to 3 is only right there. So again, kind of the same thing. I would do the same. Have your stop loss kind of set up here. So worst case scenario, you make a little bit on this trade. But this one is also a short base trade. Okay. Yeah. So you're positive about almost halfway there. Actually, this should be. Hold on, let's get this right, so no one can say, "Hey, wait a second. There's your zone. There's your confirmation. There's your top. There you go." At this point, I would have it right there. Okay. 8. Again, it may get stopped out, but take a little bit out of it. It's a 1 to 1 you're taking out. And again, it's always hard on Monday morning. This one is better than the other one, though. Yeah, this is too high. Yeah, your 9:30 candle is like way up here. You were in the top end of that zone, and it did go higher. So this one would not have qualified. It was a 61.8, but again, if you're looking for that confirmation in the overnight for this one, you can say, "Oh, there's the confirmation." But what scared me about this one is look at all the basing right below this level. It's like, and just at the 9:30 one, it peeks its head out and started the pull. So I'd have been really this one, ES, it was driving down. It wasn't so much of a base. NQ, same thing. It drove all the way back down again, right? This one, it hit it and then stopped. It did not go back down, so I don't like this one for the short. And again, same problem as yes, it was almost formed on Thursday, and the confirmation was today, so not ideal. But if you are short this one, I would say look to take profit here. Okay. And the Russell. Oh, this one's ugly, but it's the same level here. There's your confirmation, right? There's your 915 candle, and it missed. Your 915 candle, there's your 930 candle, so it missed, unfortunately. So wouldn't have made a difference. The confirmation would have been the entry, but it was basing again. So again, not ideal. You know, you typically, if it pulls back down again, you're okay. But if it hits it and then just stops, typically a telltale sign it's not going to work. So, not the greatest of positions. So, yeah, you don't love that one. All right, so that's it for the indices today. I mean, it is Monday, and it is a very, I mean, again, I'll take this off. You know, Aussie dollars at 0. The only thing we have really playing right now is the yen. The yen, and then again, a little bit of pound strength. It's accelerating a little bit here, but I mean, 11 yen trade minus 22, minus 40. Again, seeing that dollar weakness come in, we know where we're at with the dollar. And the Aussie dollar, 0 in 24 hours. So again, Monday morning, people are slow. So we'll have to see how the rest of the, you know, the next 24 hours kind of plays out. Hopefully we get a little bit more movement. Let's go ahead and do our drawing. Oh, look at this. People are sleeping. Now, I do know that this is spring break week for some people. This week and next week are the spring break weeks. My two had theirs a couple weeks ago, but I do know we are approaching spring break time. So, yeah, I expect that we will have lower numbers this week. And I guess it's what? Is it? It's Passover. Passover starts on Wednesday, I guess. So, yeah, you always expect it to be light Passover week. So, no Will today, but he may be on spring break with his kids already. So, he may be going out this week. Anyway, makes it easy for everybody else in here. So, we do have a repeat situation going on today. Right? We got a little repeat here. So, let's close it down, and we'll see what we got. All right. Winner of today's drawing is, look, no Jeff, no, I got to call Sean. I'll be like, Sean, where you at, bud? Where you at? No Eki. You guys are lucky. It's Monday. Again, lazy Mondays. It's spring Mondays, you know? All right. Winner of today's drawing is Ernest takes it. All right. So fresh week, fresh person winning. So let's get Ernest in there for his win to start off the week. All right. And again, take advantage of it, man. When there's less people, it's the way to do it. Take advantage of it, man. Take advantage. Did it say what your percentage was? Yeah, you had a 33% chance of winning. That's not bad. Not bad. So, all right. I'm out of here. I'm thankful that my voice is not nearly as bad as I was like, I'm going to have no voice this weekend. I have 2 games. But it's there. Everybody enjoy the start of your week. Hopefully everybody has nice weather like we do here. Again, I will catch you tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we'll see if it's another low week. All right. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you tomorrow. You guys take care.